This podcast is brought to you in part by Loot Crate. Alright, so we just got out of the, ninth installment at this point now of X-Men films? It's up there. X-Men Apocalypse. IMDb, it's James Avery, Michael Fassbender, Jennifer Lawrence. James McAvoy, sorry, man. Wow. I was gonna say. Hugh Jackman and his significant. I loved his cameo.
Spoiler if you didn't know.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like everyone said, he's not going to be in it. But
As for the new cast, I mean, I know that girl from Game of Thrones. Don't know her name off the top of my head. Sophie Turner.
You get Alexandra Shipp. She is from that horrible Lifetime Aaliyah movie.
Oh my god, was she Aaliyah?
Yes,
Oh
she was
God.
Aaliyah in that horrible movie. I give her credit.
You didn't say Olivia.
I liked her better than Halle Berry.
Yeah, I didn't forget.
Olivia Munn was in here as Psylocke.
Who didn't say a fucking word.
Who cares?
We care.
The costume was very comic accurate, I will say
A
that.
lot of the costumes were very comical.
Yeah, I was
It's
so...
total fan service.
Yeah, at the very end.
So, the overall plot of...
Weapon X.
Yeah.
That's fan service.
Basically,
Everything but Apocalypse.
was good, yeah.
The news.
Oh, come on. Don't ride the Ivan Ooze train. Leave him alone.
One picture.
Exactly. One picture, everybody's like, I see the resemblance, but still.
But
The film itself,
Isaac sucked in this.
there's a new threat because they're running out of what they can use for X-Men villains. Apocalypse finally, it took him long enough, comes into Earth in 1983 and he wreaks havoc across the land with his four horsemen, Archangel, Storm, Psylocke, and Magneto, who surprisingly I felt from Michael Fassbender in this. I was like, wow, like they really dealt, because the real true origins of like Magneto, it goes back, like he did have a family and everything, but I'm like, wow, they actually delved into that. Even though it was later in the game, I was like, that was pretty cool. That was good fan service. Like, overall, I don't see why this film is getting negative reviews, because I enjoyed it. Well, it's better than Origins. It's probably on par with Last Stand for me. But, I mean, overall, like, this was, like, non-stop fan service. You had, like you were saying, Weapon X.
They ripped on Last Stand in there.
Yeah.
By saying, oh, the third movie always sucks.
I know, like... Oh, yeah. I loved the Star Wars reference, man. I love it. This is, like, the fifth film this year where you're getting an Empire Strikes Back reference. I'm like, I love it. All right. And overall, like, special effect-wise, well, it's a little choppy. The beginning is really slow, but overall...
Psylocke's blade the first time was like...
Yeah, I mean, CG-wise, it was like, eh. But overall, I enjoyed this film. I'm gonna talk about it I'm gonna talk about it, like, kind of, when it comes in, I'll butt heads, whatever, but... I think... I need to process my final score, so I'm going to let one of the other podcast members talk.
So it's Rashawn. This movie sucks. I will give it a 1 out of everything because character development sucked in this movie. Oscar Isaac did basically he just showed up. He just showed up for a paycheck. He really wasn't menacing. He wasn't as... I wanted Apocalypse to be evil to the point to like a kind of how you saw Doom in that horrible Fantastic Four movie and just come in and just murder people immediately.
This was a step up. Definitely.
Yeah, it was a step up from
Love
that.
it or hate it, Apocalypse is better than Doom.
Yeah, a little bit, but
A little bit?
a little bit. Because I never got that one good speech. You get that one good villain speech. Never really got it.
I'll take a speech.
I'll take a menacing villain speech than everything.
I'll take Apocalypse over a trash bag over his head, Doom. Like, I'm just like, what
Actually
the heck?
speak louder than
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Words travel farther.
while Apocalypse, regardless if you call him Ivan Ooze, and it's going to be hard to deem the comic accurate suit and his size mask. Like, overall, I think what they did for Apocalypse, while it was very weak, it's not terrible. It's just...
Could have been better, though.
It could have been better, but I
been
mean,
a lot
like,
better.
it's not the worst thing I've seen. I mean, honestly, I think with what they had, it was alright.
Okay, well, They need to introduce characters better than they did, and actually give them words to say. Alexandra Shipp playing Storm, she barely said a word. So did Psylocke. She barely said anything.
How do you explain the accent if you're going to tie it into the original trilogy?
She had an accent in the first one. The very first one. She had an accent. Then it went away in the next 2. Yep, so...
So she's gotten like two more movies in 10 years until she gets caught up to the
Yeah,
no accent.
yeah, 2 more.
It's a real sign. Just like,
Overall, best scene was probably Wolverine's cameo scene. Probably the bloodiest thing we've ever seen in an X-Men movie.
Until the Wolverine comes out.
One that'll be actually rated R, and we'll see more blood. Yeah, currently this movie is a horrible rating. Yeah.
Oh, baby, I have them.
Okay. Whatever. I don't know. I don't know. Our host is running around for some reason.
I don't need a segment just to say that you would think with a small budget as Deadpool that they got so much right that if you have a bigger budget, get more things right. Like a lot of it was fan service this time around compared to all the other movies, but it's like you could have done so much better with the money that you're spending.
Yeah,
the effects shortcomings shouldn't have existed.
Yeah, there's a lot of wire work. You can really just tell the whole entire time. All right, it's picking up.
Speaking in the mic,
Even
but you
the
beat
Yeah.
shippers.
Yeah,
Metal shippers look so bad.
Yeah, it was horrible. I was kind of pointing out certain things when I was watching.
Speed up. He's got to watch Alice later, I think.
Well, there was points where I'm seeing in the movie, I'm like, well, why didn't what's the name just use his powers then? Like when they're on the helicopter, Cyclops could have used his powers. He could have just stopped them, but he didn't. Magneto, he knew his daughter had the necklace around her thing. He could have stopped them and just took them out.
The mom didn't even get a noble death. But
Nope.
She just hugs her daughter and
They both die together.
They kind of shortchanged on that. Like, he cared more about his daughter than his wife.
And Magneto himself, I'm like, I get that your daughter and wife died, but you went through the Holocaust where you have something in, like, you're when you have someone like Hitler who is killing people for race and everything else and like the dominant species, you're gonna do the same thing with Apocalypse, who's basically another Hitler. It's really bullshit right there. You don't do that. You don't do that at all. Doesn't matter. You don't do the same exact thing that happened to you. No.
Back to Marvel.
Yeah, I would rather that
They're
happen.
already too knee deep in. It's good.
Yeah, they're too knee deep.
What about the point you said in there about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yeah, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So for season 3 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they had Hive as the villain. And Hive basically had the 4 Horsemen. He had 4 different Inhumans that he used and took over and gave them powers, extra powers, and was connected to them. And he wanted to do the same thing to the whole entire world. Send up something and basically make everyone an Inhuman on Earth and connect with every single being. Same exact plan.
Because Marvel gives a finger to the...
Yep, it was. And they did it better. I'm done. And
Okay.
Thank you, Sean. This is Bucky again. Yeah, I would have to say I enjoyed this movie. I don't understand why critics are panning it, but you know, it is as I would say with these guys, a fan favorite movie. You know, we get a few things here and there, but hey, how's it going? Yeah, I broke code here, but anyway, yeah, it was pretty fun. Good movie. Probably gonna keep this short because I think Jared's pressed for time. Battery life. What's going on?
I think we're good.
Calm down. I kind of know. But anyway, yeah, I agree that some things were a little rushed and some characters needed a little bit more development. Kind of could have done without the feels. And I really didn't need to be crying for some little girl, dying and with an arrow of all weapons. But all in all, the movie was pretty good. I don't understand, why it's getting panned. I guess Entertainment Weekly and they're, hey, let's turn this purple and not blue. Yeah, Ivan Ooze, I get it. But, I'm just going to turn it over to Jared now because I got to get going because apparently I have to get someone home. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you, Bucky from Horror, Sci-Fi, and More. And subscribe to him, but subscribe to us first. But subscribe to him.
Yeah, you can always subscribe to me. I don't.
Joe, you have anything? All right.
I said my piece.
I'm still waiting on my guy's night
I'm
shirt.
still processing.
Did you put it in order? Well, I think I come up with my overall score for Apocalypse. I'm going to give it a 2.5. That seems pretty solid.
Needs more Spider-Man.
It could have used more Spider-Man. You know, actually, fun fact, they were going to use the X-Men in the original Spider-Man as just a cameo. And on one of the bloopers, there's a guy dressed in a Spider-Man costume, and they're in the Statue of Liberty.
Let's give a spoiler on the extra scene. They use the Exis Corporation.
Ah, Mr. Sinister.
Mr. Sinister.
I'm excited. The end credits scene was pretty cool. I like Mr. Sinister. I think they're going to use X-23 because they got Wolverine's DNA. I was like, all right. And you know what? A lot of people think that it's X because of X-Men, but it's actually Roman numerals. So I mean, it's going to be cool to see the process. Maybe we'll get Leave Tyler back as Sabretooth because he's personally I like him better than the first guy that played him.
Tyler Mane?
Tyler Mane, there, because he was also Michael Myers, yeah.
Michael Myers, guy's old. You want to go with the other guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Too bad.
He was good. I liked it. He was more comic accurate Sabretooth, and it seemed like X-Men Apocalypse is a very comic accurate, not strictly comic accurate, but they tie with comic themes. Like if you notice Nightcrawler's costume, I was like, that's so 70s. They even had the yellow in the suit. Not as good as First Class, but still it was good.
Yeah, a huge Nightcrawler fan, I would have to say this is a little bit better than Alan Cummings' version.
Really? You like it better than X2?
I like it better than X2 a little bit. Also, the fact that it gave a cameo to the Blob, even though he was the guy that fell down,
They had the yellow.
I know we had a little problem with the names. I think we have 2 angels now.
No, there's I don't think so, because there's Angel, and then when Apocalypse gets to him, it's Archangel. That's what I was under the impression of.
But wasn't her the chick in the first one?
Oh, yeah, she was Angel. Yeah.
Kind of scary if she has, bug wings.
What I want to know is that, are they going to tie into the fact that Mystique is Nightcrawler's mom? That's what I really want. Because I was wondering that. I was like, I wonder if they're going to tie upon this, that Mystique is Nightcrawler's mom. I'm like, I don't think so. Because they seem around the same age.
Or are they gonna?
Or Azazel, yeah.
So are they gonna retcon it again, like how they had Will.i.am from X-Men Origin be Nightcrawler's father?
But I don't know. Because that's the thing, I just want to know if we're going to get that subplot. I honestly, I will say this, we didn't touch upon this when talking about it. Quicksilver kicked ass again.
I will give that.
Come on, that scene,
Better than the other
Oh, better than Days of Futures Past, and actually better than anything that Marvel's Quicksilver, because I mean...
It almost had a taste of Deadpool and humor with that whole process, because it's comical, it's heroic, but at the same time you're just it kind of feels misplaced amongst the rest of the movie. How a big explosion, we're going to destroy the house again and everybody in it, but just little bits in here and there, the dog.
Oh yeah, they even made that. I remember that in Deadpool. It's it was cool. I enjoyed this. So
also with the Summers brothers.
Were you wondering if Havoc died? Yeah.
You kind of figured he died, but I was still a little bummed that they should have used Scott first and then brought Alex in. But you get what you get.
I mean, we're never gonna get our true comic accurate First Class team.
Oh
You're getting close to the costumes.
Yeah, I mean, they said that the next movie takes place in the 90s. I mean, it's going to be interesting.
We're going to get Colossus.
Hopefully.
But the one character I'm hoping for we get from the 90s, Morph.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool to just have him in there hey, guys, I'm Morph.
You know what they should have done? But even though, I guess Iron Man 2 kind of spoiled it in a way, instead of, hinting at Mr. Sinister, should have done Omega Red. I think that would be, if done right, that would be interesting. But you have Whiplash, which has a similar characteristic from Iron Man 2. That's it.
Well, the real question I have for Fox is that I realize that this is to rewrite the timeline, but are the previous X-Men films in conjunction of this whatsoever? Because I really want to see I don't get how the First Class trilogy, because now we can call it that, always ends with Magneto being like, I'm gonna do my own thing, I'm gonna be good, and I'm just like, I'm waiting for that one moment where in X1, where literally it's like they just part ways and Mystique turns and
This isn't like a predestination type deal. This is like we're following them now. Like everything in the original trilogy, like
Doesn't
that's
exist.
an alternate timeline at this point now. Like you will never repeat those movies with the current cast. It's just we went back to a point that now we're following that point that we went back to.
Even though they're going to have to look like the current cast. which
Yeah, I
they
was gonna
did.
say, like, you have to bring the original campaign look. I'm alright with that.
Like, in the movie, like, Magneto and Professor are basically supposed to be 50. Yeah, but and they go to the 90s now. I'm like, oh, what's the name did Patrick Stewart? I'm like, he was in the 60s when he did the first X-Men. I'm like, you're gonna make Jane McAvoy that old? You're gonna actually do some makeup?
Or Wolverine's hitting on like young girls now.
Yeah.
It looks like she was hitting
I
like him.
almost thought they were gonna kiss.
And I'm
Really
like,
that bad?
16?
Look,
It was
You figure
borderline
Hugh Jackman's
almost
age, Sophie
that.
Turner's age.
I-
She was young when she started on Game of Thrones. Like, you need to keep a little more distance.
I'm just happy that when we finally saw Wolverine, he had the complete Weapon X costume with the helmet. I remember the Marvel Legend figure. You remember that? I was like, I had that as a kid. I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh man, he has the helmet. He has the plugs you can put into it. They were just missing the visor. That's all they needed.
But that's total fan service. Like,
Yeah.
what we're saying is that, like, if you look at that out of context, like, not a fan of the comics, it's almost comical.
Yeah.
Because the outfit just looks goofy, like, dated or not, like, you just kind of look at it and it's kind of silly. But if you know the comics, you look at it and you're just like, oh my god. they
I
got it
literally
right
was sitting
finally.
there. I was like, yes, because I thought it was just going to be him, the naked Wolverine from Origins. I'm like, I don't want to see that. I mean, it's cool to see Hugh Jackman. I don't want to see that. And then it's like,
And you even,
Wow.
if you even go back to the last time you saw him and how he was to how he was in this movie, they're two completely different personalities.
Oh,
that
yeah,
they're
he's-
playing with. And of course,
he's-
it makes sense because this is the experiment that's causing this. But it's like, again, if you're not a diehard fan of the books, you're going to kind of read it the wrong way. I
and
think.
we might even get a true Phoenix saga. That's another thing. Where
If they do that right,
yeah, I was like, wow, we might actually get the Phoenix saga. I'm like, okay.
But there's also the one lingering question from the last movie, Days of Future Past. Because at the end of the movie, you have Mystique being William Stryker, getting Wolverine out there. So did she just lazily hand over Wolverine to Stryker?
well, there's a 10-year gap to the day.
Yeah.
Because it's the 10th anniversary of everything. So, like, what happened in 10 years that we're not going to get in the movie, since they're jumping every 10 years, that happened that brought it back to them.
And somehow Mystique's going to be the leader of the X-Men now? I'm like,
Guess, yeah, we'll have to find out.
no.
So the overall score for the Guys Night Crew was a 2 out of 4. Ugh, it's a shame. But that concludes this podcast. Next week, we won't be having our Ninja Turtles review because the following weekend we'll be in DC for AwesomeCon. So we'll have our review up that Monday. So be sure to subscribe to us on our YouTube page, Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, and look for our videos from AwesomeCon. So until next time, this is Jared Avery
This is Bucky.
from Horror, Sci-Fi, and More.
Why do I have to keep saying that? Do I gotta promote my stuff on your stuff?
I don't know. I'm just
I mean,
saying.
that's like kind of like cheap and cheesy, you know?
It's
cross-
universe
platforming.
building.
You know, this-
Shared universe.
So you're like
Shared
so
universe.
you're the X-Men and I'm the X Factor, right?
No, it's like we're the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
If you call me DC, your ass is going in that trash can.
You're like,
He did call you that. So I want to
how about this? You're like the Christopher Reeves DC.
I'm Sony. I'll give you all the secrets, all right? How about that?
Okay, that works.
Ivan News.
Okay, yeah.
Rashawn, also come to room 144 on Saturday, June 4th from 6:30 to 7:30 for a panel.
All
in
right.
DC at AwesomeCon.
And to get his autograph.
So, until next time, we do for the sake of the podcast. Until next time, we're
We out.
out.